Okay. Okay. We're gonna start, everyone, please. Yeah.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. So, somebody wanted to hear something about Bhuteshananji Maharaj, who was one of our presidents. Bhuteshananji Maharaj had the privilege of seeing many of our direct disciples, including Brahmananji, Shivananji, Shardanji's disciple. He was a disciple of Shardanji Maharaj, and he had the opportunity to see Sharda Devi, the Holy Mother Sharda Devi, two times. One time in Udbodhan, where she used to live in Kolkata. You see, Holy Mother used to always cover her face, okay, whenever she used to sit for darshan. So he was a young boy at that time. So even in front of young boys, Holy Mother used to have the ghungta. So he only could touch her feet and make pranam. That was the first time. The second time was when Holy Mother passed away and her body was brought to Belur Math for cremation. He had seen Swami Brahmananji, Swami Shivananji. So he used to attend the classes on Upanishads and Brahma Sutras, which were being taken by Swami Shuddhanandaji at that time in Belur Math. Swami Shuddhanandaji used to take classes in Sanskrit for brahmacharis who had joined in Belur Math at that time. So Mahapurush Maharaj, Swami Shivanandaji, was the president, but he was old and could not come for the classes, but he had so much love for the scriptural classes that he would tell this Bhuteshanji Maharaj, whose name was Vijay Maharaj. So every day after the class, Vijay Maharaj had to come and report to Mahapurush Maharaj what he learnt in the Bhashyas that day. What was the topic that was discussed in Brahma Sutras. So just imagine, he had to come and explain it to Mahapurush Maharaj, who was a God realized soul. How difficult it would have been. But he was such a great scholar, such a great Pandit, Bhuteshanji, and so humble. Even later on, when he was the president in the 90s, 92, 93, he used to always love talking about Thakur, Ma, Swamiji, the scriptures. Any question that we would ask on the Gita or the Upanishads or any part of the scriptures, his answer would be spontaneous. Many times he would quote from the Bhashyas without any reference or any book. Okay, it was all in his mind. So I am reminded of a beautiful incident that happened when I joined in Sharada Peeth, which is just next to Belur Math. I had come from Bangalore, where I was born. I just finished my college and then came and joined in Sharada Peeth. Most revered President Maharaj, who is now our President Maharaj, was the secretary of Sharada Peeth at that time, Swami Smaranananji Maharaj. He was a trustee and he was the secretary there. When I joined in August, that was Ramakrishnanji's Jayanti, I joined in Shardapeeth on that day. And revered Bhuteshanji Maharaj had gone to Japan in 88 during that time for Diksha. And he used to go almost every year to Japan. So he came back after almost 2 months, I think. So Smarananji told me, see, you are Maharaj's disciple. You must take his blessings because you're wanting to lead a monastic life. So he's your guru and you must take his blessings. Let's go and meet him. So you will be able to take his blessing. I said, it was a wonderful opportunity for me. I never imagined that I will again see Maharaj, isn't it? So I went with Maharaj and I made pranams to Maharaj. And Smarananji Maharaj introduced me to Maharaj. Oh, this boy has come from Bangalore to join and he is your disciple. So immediately Maharaj's face, that smile that he used to have, extraordinary smile he used to have, simple childlike smile. So he smiled and said, he spoke to me in Kannada. Uh, he said, Uppittu kotta. I said, how does he know Kannada? Because I never expected this. I said, yes, I know. Then he said, what is the derivation of the word Uppittu? I never thought about this. It is Uppittu is upma, what we eat. Okay, the dish that we prepare. He said, how do you derive the word upma? I did not, I never thought about this. Then he said, oh, it is a sandhi, uppu, hittu, uppittu. You see, uppu is salt in South Indian language. Even in Tamil, uppu is salt. Mal is the flour or the semolina. So a combination of these two words makes it that upma. So he was a Sanskrit scholar. You see how nicely he said the derivation. Huh? I said, thank you for educating me. And then by that time, Smarananji Maharaj uh, left. Say, Swami, you can, Maharaj, you please give him some advice for his monastic life. I will leave him with you. And he came out of the room. So I was alone with Maharaj. So then I again requested Maharaj, Maharaj, please tell me something which I can remember all through my monastic life. It was such a wonderful advice that Maharaj gave me. He said, you see, you are joining in Sharda Peeth. You will be in Sharda Peeth, but never imagine that the Ramakrishna movement or the Ramakrishna order is only Sharda Peeth. It is a huge organization. Sri Ramakrishna has thousands of facets. Wherever you are, never think that that is the only part of Sri Ramakrishna, or what I know about Ramakrishna is the ultimate and there is nothing else to be known. Don't put boundaries to Ramakrishna. Such a wonderful statement. Sri Ramakrishna belongs to the infinite. He is universal, Ananta Bhavamoy. So try to grasp Sri Ramakrishna in all his aspects. Don't limit him through your understanding of him. Hmm? So this was his wonderful advice, which I try to remember every time I try to meditate on Sri Ramakrishna. So what he has practiced in his life is depicted through this advice that he gave. You see, Oshimo, Ananto Tini. Sri Ramakrishna is beyond any boundaries, is beyond any limitations. So this was Bhuteshanaji, such a wonderful Swami. But yeah, and it's fortunate that we could see Ranganathanji, Bhuteshanji, Gambhiranji, such great stalwarts of the Ramakrishna order. And the greatest thing that I have observed in these great monks was their simplicity, their childlike nature, no show, no demands. They never asked for anything. They were just happy with what they got. Bhuteshanji Maharaj, you see, whenever somebody used to come and ask, come to meet him, so they would usually ask, Maharaj, how are you? কেমন আছেন আপনি? শরীর কেমন আছে? So the usual reply that Maharaj used to give, আমার থেকে আমার সেবকরা ভালো জানে আমার সম্বন্ধে। My sevaks know about me better than I know. Because they used to tell the doctor and then see that he gets the treatment, the right treatment. I'm reminded of a beautiful, funny incident that happened. So one day when we were all waiting to offer pranams to revered Bhuteshanji Maharaj, just before the sadhus and brahmacharis would offer pranams, there used to be devotees. Then sadhus and brahmacharis would do, and then again devotees would come to offer pranam. They used to come as soon as the gate opens in Belur Math. By 3 o'clock, devotees used to be waiting to come to meet Maharaj. And as soon as the gate opens, they used to come and then sit, and Maharaj used to talk to them about Bhagavata, this, that, so many things. They used to read the gospel, and Maharaj used to explain Kathamrita. So this was a regular practice every day. Without any strain, Maharaj used to sit and talk to them. He loved to talk to the devotees and explain the gospel. So one lady devotee who was standing in the queue, she was telling another devotee, we could all hear, she was saying, you see, I'll just tell it in Bengali and then translate it for those who don't understand Bengali. তো আমি গত সপ্তাহে এসেছিলাম, তো মহারাজের কাছে আমার গানের একটা ক্যাসেট আমি মহারাজকে দিয়েছি, উপহার দিয়েছি। তো মহারাজ নিশ্চয়ই শুনেছেন আমার গানটা। তো আজকে আমি জিজ্ঞাসা করবো কেমন মহারাজের লেগেছে আমার গানটা। So she had presented one cassette of her singing to revered Maharaj during the previous week, during her previous visit, and she wanted to get the reaction of Maharaj, how he liked it or what. So she was boasting off in front of her friends and telling others. Okay, so then she came in front of Maharaj in the line, and then with full enthusiasm and all that, she asked, Maharaj, ওই ক্যাসেটটা শুনেছেন, আমার গানটা শুনেছেন, কেমন লাগলো? Maharaj, did you listen to my music? How did you like it? And all that. So Maharaj, in a very humorous and a very silent way, he said, জানো মা, ঢাকের আবাস থামলে ভালো লাগে। Did you understand? So Maharaj said, oh, you see, Ma, he was addressing her as Ma. The sound of the drum is pleasant when it stops. ढाक की आवाज जब रुक जाएगा तब अच्छा लगेगा। मतलब नॉइज जब कम हो जाएगा तब अच्छा लगता है। No, he was also probably making fun. So this is Bhuteshanji. He used to be so spontaneous in his fun and humor. His wit was something remarkable. Yes, anybody has any questions, so you can please ask me. Or, I mean, so that I can get some point to tell.
Swamiji, a few words about Swami Gautamananda.
Bah.
I saw him only in Bangalore once. Very, very loving Swamiji, and for his age, he was so healthy and happy.
Yeah,
And
he is healthy. 92 years now, but he is one of the most healthy Swamis that we have. Swami Gautamananji was a student in Bangalore when he came into contact with Swami Atmajnananda Maharaj. So for some time, he was working in Madhya Pradesh. His elder brother was working in Madhya Pradesh. So Maharaj was staying with him and working. So then he moved to Bangalore when his father passed away, and started coming to the ashram. Shastrananji, who was in Bangalore ashram, was from the same area, Malleshwaram, in Bangalore. So he had some contacts in Malleshwaram, and Gautamanji came into contact with that group and so came to the ashram. He used to cycle from Malleshwaram to Baswangudi, where the ashram is now. There was another devotee who has passed away, Kitty Master, Krishnamurti. He was a scientist in the Indian Institute of Science. So he was also very closely connected to Yatishwaranji Maharaj. He was a brahmachari. He used to sing very well, and Yatishwaranji had great affection for him, love for him. So this Kitty Master used to go to Malleshwaram, to the group there, and sing songs, teach songs, etc. So that way Gautamanji Maharaj came to the Bangalore ashrama. So regarding his uh, contact with Yatishwaranji, he used to tell, when I was with Maharaj, he used to tell, when he came to Bangalore ashram, the first day that he came to Bangalore ashram, he came on a cycle with 2 or 3 friends. And Yatishwaranji Maharaj was standing with his walking stick. Okay, he had a walking stick usually. So he was standing in front of our book sales section there, just near the gate, under a lamp post. Yatishwaranji Maharaj was standing there. So this young Gautamanji kept the cycle and then came to Yatishwaranji. Seeing a Swami, he did not know him, but seeing a Swami out of natural respect, he bowed down to him. And when he looked up to him, he just felt that he is my father, so close to me. He had just lost his father. He felt a father figure in Yatishwaranji and started talking to him, asking him questions, and that bond came by. And he almost came every day and grew with Yatishwaranji Maharaj, grew under Yatishwaranji Maharaj. So Gautamanji Maharaj, from what I have observed with Maharaj, he would never waste any moment. As soon as he found some free time, either he would be reading the gospel or complete verse. Every day he had a habit of reading at least 2 or 3 pages from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in English. He would read from the English, make notes also, and at least one chapter from the complete verse. Every day it was his routine. And chant Vishnu Sahasranama. It was in his memory. He did not need a book for that. So whenever he would have some free time, he would completely sit and go on chanting. Maybe it is in a train, maybe in the flight, wherever. He will chant the Vishnu Sahasranama. And then one chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So this was his routine every day. Japa and all that, of course. Another important thing that I noticed in Gautamanji Maharaj, because of the practice, long hours of doing sadhana and japa, when I was in Sharda Peeth, I have observed that during the Kali Puja, which is a puja which starts at 9 o'clock and goes on up to 3 or 4 in the morning, whole night, I have seen Maharaj sitting in the asana without budging from the asana, without moving. Whole night he would be sitting, no movement in the legs or something, no strain. So there is a word in Sanskrit which says asana siddha, one who is adept in the asana. Shashi Maharaj was like that. Shardanji was like that. It is mentioned in the lives. So I have seen Gautamanji like that, sitting steadily for hours together and doing japa, meditating. It does not come in one day. It has to be years and years of practice, isn't it? There's so many facets to the personality. I say, otherwise, Sri Ramakrishna would not keep them in that level, isn't it? That itself shows that Sri Ramakrishna recognizes their spiritual.
You were with him in recent years, I believe.
I was with Maharaj from 2012, January 1st. Okay. From 2012, January 1st to 2016, November. October.
He was also in Delhi.
Huh?
In Delhi.
Maharaj joined in Delhi under Swahananji, actually. So, Yatishwanji Maharaj wrote to Swahananji, who was the head at that time. Good that you asked this question. I'm reminded of some things. So, Swahananji was the head at the time, and Yatishwanji Maharaj wrote to Swahananji. You see, no, sorry, I'm sorry. Ranganathanji was the head. Then Gautamanji joined in Delhi, New Delhi. So Yatishwanji was close to Ranganathanji. He was senior. So he wrote to Ranganathanji, I'm sending you this boy to join under you, and please take care of him. That was the letter. So Ranganathanji Maharaj was there, and Maharaj joined. He was the first pujari of the Delhi Ramakrishna mission, the new temple that was built by Ranganathanji Maharaj. So there's a beautiful incident which Maharaj used to tell about his staying there under Ranganathanji. He was a young boy who had just joined. Huh? So not young. I think when he joined, he was almost 28 or 29 because he was already working and all that. So Delhi has extreme climates. Sometimes it's very hot, and in winter it's cold. So in the summer, when it was very hot, they used to sleep outside in the lawns. Just in front of the temple, there are lawns. So they used to put up a mosquito net and then sleep outside. Mosquitoes are also there, so they had mosquito nets. They used to tie mosquito nets. So one day, this brahmachari and so many others, they were all sleeping there under the mosquito net. And Ranganathanji Maharaj must have been walking or doing something. So then Gautamanji loves music. So he was singing a song, Dema Mai Pagol Kore. He was clapping his hand and singing, Dema Mai Pagol Kore. So Ranganathanji Maharaj, oh mother, make me mad. Spiritually mad for, okay. So then Ranganathanji Maharaj was walking somewhere. He heard this boy singing and said, yes, she will fulfill your desire. So ma korben, ঠিক আছে. So Gautamanji used to say, you see, Ranganathanji was so humorous. He came and told me like this when I was singing. So later on, after Ranganathanji Maharaj came to Institute of Culture in Kolkata, Golpark, and Swahananji took charge of the Delhi Ramakrishna mission. So Maharaj was under him also for some time, under Swahananji also. Is anything else, please?
Could you say something about Harshanandaji Maharaj?
Harshanji.
Hmm.
Harshanji, yes, he was the president of Bangalore Ramakrishna Math. Harshanji Maharaj, as a college student, came into contact with Swami Tyagishananji Maharaj. Swami Tyagishananji Maharaj was a disciple of Swami Brahmanandaji Maharaj. He belonged to the royal family in Kerala, a very prestigious family in Kerala. And he was an extraordinary, brilliant student, a gold medalist in those days under the British educational system. Highly qualified. He was highly qualified, and he joined. In fact, if you have heard about Swami Tyagishanji, he had a big beard. He was a very austere Swami, and highly respected. And he used to take classes without any notes. Difficult subjects, maybe Bhagavad Gita or Naradiya Bhakti Sutras or the Upanishads. He did not need any notes. So, from what I have heard from the Swamis who were with him, so Bhagavad Gita starts with Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Okay, so the word dharma, he started explaining the word dharma, which went for almost 3 or 4 months. Every day. The classes used to be every day. To the brahmachari, he used to be so elaborate in his explanation and without any notes. He used to simply speak like that. He was a master, Tyagishanji Maharaj, extraordinary Swami. So Harshanji came into contact with him, and after Tyagishanji suddenly passed away out of TB. He passed away out of tuberculosis. In those days, malnutrition was a big problem. India was a poor country, and there was no available medicine. Also, antibiotics was not there, including Ramkrishnaji passed away out of TB. Shashi Maharaj passed away out of TB. So Tyagishanji, uh, after Tyagishanji, Yatishwanji was posted to Bangalore ashram. He had just returned from the West. He was in America, and then he had come, and Yatishwanji was made the head of uh, Bangalore ashram. So Harshanji was an engineering student in Bangalore. He was also a highly intelligent boy. He stood first in the engineering college in those days. Okay, so then he came into contact and joined under Yagishanji. And Yatishanji, when he came, Yatishanji had a wonderful relationship. He had great love and respect for Yatishwanji. But after some time, he was transferred to Mangalore, which is again on the coastal side. Adi Devananji was there. Adi Devananji was translating the Upanishads into Kannada. He was doing a lot of literary work. So Harshanji used to assist him in doing the translation, taking down the notes, editing, and all that. So Harshanji used to tell that he was not a Sanskrit student. He had not studied Sanskrit. But in order to help Adi Devananji and to learn the language, he did it himself. So he was self-taught in Sanskrit, and his Sanskrit was so good. Sanskrit was so good. He composed so many beautiful shlokas, hymns on Thakur Ma Swamiji in Sanskrit. So Harshanji was a self-made man that way. He knew music, and then he learned music also, perfected it. He has composed so many beautiful songs in Kannada on Thakur Ma Swamiji. His famous work is there, the Encyclopedia on Hinduism, which he worked all through his life. That was the one goal of his life, to write the Hinduism encyclopedia. So he used to read books, mark notes, and everything was systematically organized. So he had a book in which he used to note down the important topics that had to be covered. So he would collect books to give information about it. He had a beautiful library of his own. Every book was orderly arranged. He had arranged the books in the duodecimal system. He learned everything. So his library was so clearly organized, and every book had page marks at different places, important places. When he was transferred from Allahabad to Bangalore as the head, in those days the Indian railway system was not so very advanced. Today it's much better. So he had a huge uh, collection of books that had to be transported. And the books were all orderly arranged in big boxes, tin boxes in those days, tin boxes used to be there. They used to carry that. So it was to come by transport. So some 20 boxes of huge boxes. And it did not reach Bangalore.
Oh,
They got lost. So he had to again work, do the whole thing again, but without any grudge, he did it and brought out the encyclopedia. Something remarkable. All the books, his entire work was just gone. It got lost somewhere in the train. So that shows the dedication, that shows the sincerity in his work.
So
I
Maharaj,
had the fortune of serving
yeah,
him
yeah,
also.
anything else? Yeah, yeah.
No. He was a disciple of Virajananji Maharaj, Holy Mother's disciple. As a student, he went to Vizag, Vizag. So a few of the other monks, they were sent to Vizag to be initiated by Virajananji Maharaj. So that was another great blessing for him.
Wonder if Sandhyanandaji was there in Vizag at the time.
Yes, I have not seen Sandhyananji. Yes,
He,
I only heard about him.
he came to Bangalore as our warden.
Yes,
in his
I have
late
heard.
60s.
Correct, he was in India.
70,
He was in Bangalore, correct. Sandhyananji. He was a student in Vidyarthi Mandaram and I was just born. I mean, probably the same year I was born, 66.
Interestingly, only one data point. I will just point something. In the hostel in those days, Swami Yatishwaranandaji, Yagishanandaji, in their memory, we used to conduct a very large debate in English, an essay writing competition, and a volleyball tournament.
Yeah.
All in their name. The sheets were all in their names.
Yatishwanji loved sports. He used to encourage the students to play sports and exercise. Yatishwanji used to exercise regularly, like Brahmananji Maharaj. He used to advise also. Yatishwanji used to advise, you must exercise every day. There is a beautiful incident. There was one devotee, Ram Prasad. He has passed away recently. Not recently, around a few years back. One of his younger brother is a Swami in our order in Kankhal, Manjunath Maharaj. So this Ram Prasad was a young boy when he used to come to the Balak Sangha, and Yatishwanji was the president. So in those days, the uh, English education was not so very common. People would not speak so much English at that time, especially school children, you see. They were not able to speak English and understand English very well. So they were always afraid to go near Yatishwanji because he knew only English. He would speak hardly few words in Kannada. So they would not talk to Yatishwanji or go near him. Shastranji was their contact all along. Only Shastranji used to be the connecting link. So they never used to approach Yatishwanji. But when they had exams, when they had their final exams, and to take his blessings was important because he's a Swami, and then to get blessings and then clear the exams. That was the intention. So when he had exams, he would go to offer pranams to Yatishwanji. Yatishwanji used to usually be sitting outside, and these boys had to go above to the Balak Sangha. Maharaj knows about all this. Maharaj was in Balak Sangha, Bhaswataranji. So when he was going, he had the exam in mathematics the next day. So he bowed down to Yatishwanji. So Yatishwanji knew these boys. He said, why are you doing pranams today? You have an exam tomorrow? He asked. And this boy understood what he was saying. He said, yes. He said, what exam? He asked. So mathematics. Sri Ramakrishna did not know mathematics. He will not help you in mathematics. So wonderful, you see. If you read the life of Sri Ramakrishna, there's an interesting detail about his knowledge of mathematics. Sri Ramakrishna could add, addition he could do, but never subtract. What a wonderful mind he had. He could never reduce, minus he never knew, but addition he knew. So wonderful, you see, his whole life, every aspect of his life is so wonderful. I have come to rebuild Sri Ramakrishna University. I mean, Godate Eshechi, only constructive. There is nothing negative in Sri Ramakrishna. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Maharaj, I'm grateful to you for everything, both
Yeah,
the service.
please come again.
Atmajnananda,
Next
Master.
time you'll get reminiscences of the Swami Atmajnananda.
No, golden words are not to be repeated. Golden words are not to be repeated.
Good.
Okay.
We'll start before Brahmarpanam with happy birthday to Divyata.